Hey guys, welcome back to the coop. Today I want to talk to you about a little problem that I'm currently having. My eggs have started diminishing, and I've got a few different factors that could be contributing to that, and I want to share those with you today. I do have a thunderstorm cloud back here behind me that's approaching pretty quickly. So we're going to start here in the coop. I may have to shift and move into the building, but we'll go ahead and jump in and see what we can get accomplished out here in the coop. So as you guys know, I have about between 40 and 45 head of chickens. I do have some roosters in that number, but majority of them are hens. And one day this week, when I came out in the afternoon to collect eggs, out of that many chickens, I collected 2 eggs. And as you can imagine, that is very disappointing. And, you know, it really caught my attention. And my eggs have been dropping in number over the, past 2 or 3 weeks. I have noticed that. And so I've started trying to weigh out what could be going on. And it's not time for them to start molting yet. We're still, at time of filming right now, today's date is August the 10th. So we are in the dead heat of summer. We are here in central southern Georgia. We have extremely humid, hot summers here. So that brings me to my number one factor that I'm looking at. I've done a little research, and I've always known through my years of keeping chickens that in extreme heat, they can slow down on egg production tremendously. And this is kind of what I laid it to. But then the other day when I came and I only got 2 eggs, I got a little more concerned. But through my research and trying to find the science behind why the heat slows down egg production, I found some very interesting information that I want to pass along to you guys. When hens are in a condition where it's extreme heat, they, as you know, they start to pant, and they kind of lift their wings away from their body to try to get more airflow and more air circulation to cool them down. And through that panting that they do, it brings more carbon dioxide into their lungs. And this affects their calcium metabolism. So I'm going to break this down a little bit for you, because this is all kind of very scientific. But it makes absolute perfect sense. So the increase in that carbon dioxide in the lungs throws off their pH in their bloodstream. So that calcium that's traveling through their bloodstream, because it throws that metabolism off, it starts binding to other nutrients inside the body, which results in the calcium being less available for the formation of the eggshell. And as you guys probably already know, eggs are 90% calcium. So with this decrease in the available calcium in their body, naturally they have less calcium in that egg formation, hence brittle, soft eggs. So I'm going to come full circle with this, if you'll hang out and bear with me a minute. But a hen can actually completely stop making eggs during this time if the extreme heat conditions stay consistent for consecutive days, which is what we've been having here where we're located. We did have a cold front that finally came in. We had a lot of rainy weather. We're still having the rainy weather, hence the bad rain cloud behind me here that's fastly approaching. But before that cold front hit, we were having consecutive days of 100-degree weather. And I knew that part of my decrease in the eggs was because of this heat. But like I said, I wanted to dig in a little deeper and actually figure out the science behind it, because that's just the way my mind works. But I did not realize that, if it goes on consecutively long enough, the hens can completely stop laying because of this calcium deficiency caused by the increase in the carbon dioxide in their lungs caused by the panting, caused by the heat. So the other factor that ties into this, and which I think is fitting into my scenario, is the eggs that are produced can have very brittle, thin shells. And not all of them are like that, but I have seen a couple. But I'm thinking what's happening, because I've seen a lot of residue from eggs that are being eaten. So my first thought was this. I did have a couple of hens that I saw and knew for a fact were eating eggs. I had separated those out from my main flock. I had them in a separate pen, but it's been a few weeks ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago. Time's getting away from me. We had a trip up to the lake, and due to that, I had to bring those hens back into the main flock so they could be self-sufficient on food and water. And I never separated them back out. And so, again, my eggs have just continued to diminish. And so, in the back of my mind, I've had the heat and those egg eaters being introduced back into the flock. So then I came out, and where I wanted to go with that, let me back up just a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself, is with the shells possibly being a little more brittle because of the panting and the excess carbon dioxide and the reduction in the calcium available for the eggshell formation. I'm thinking that with the hens fighting over the nest box like they normally do, because they all want to pile in one nest box, even though they have multiple out here. That's just the way it goes. If you guys know, you know. But I'm thinking that those brittle shells are cracking and the hens are gobbling them up, because as you know, once one gets cracked, they go crazy over the egg. And I think if a little bit of that yolk gets on another egg, then that one, they go after that one too. And you see the endless cycle here. So I think with all that combined, that's my problem. Not only that, but if you've been keeping up with us, you know that we have a lot of oak snakes, also known as rat snakes, where we live right here. I think we have a whole family of them, to be honest with you. We've already done a catch and release on one. That was back when I had the broody hen and the babies in an individual pen inside this main coop, and the snake was just getting a little too close for comfort. I was scared that he was going to take one of the babies and have it for dinner. So we went ahead and done a catch and release on him. But since then, I've seen another snake in here several different times. But I didn't have any babies because Mama and the babies are out in the yard now. And I don't mind sharing an egg here and there. And my thought was, how much could one snake possibly eat? But I did a short. Maybe I'll add a little clip in here. But this was a very long oak snake, but very slender oak snake. And he just worked forever. I sat there and filmed it, trying to get that whole egg in his mouth. And when he finally got it down, just a few inches down into his throat, he constricted and crushed that egg. So when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, maybe he's digesting a lot more eggs than I'm thinking. Because once they constrict and actually break that egg, it disperses, and so then he's got plenty of room to sit there and eat every one in the nest box. Needless to say, we done a catch and release on that one also. Catch and release. And so I think everything contributing to my loss of eggs is A, the heat situation and the factors that tie into that, the possible brittle eggs caused by the heat, the slowdown of the heat, my egg eaters that I'm fixing to have to cull back out of the flock. I'm just putting them in a separate pen. I've got a few solutions that I've heard about and read about over my years of having chickens. I have not put any of them to the test, but I will pass those along to you now in case you do have egg eaters, because I'm going to try this approach with the ones that I have shifted back to a separate pen. And since I have them separated out, I'm going to try training them not to eat the eggs so I can reintroduce them into the flock. Option one is that you can blow out an egg. Just take a push tack and make a small hole in the top and the bottom of the egg, and you can just blow the contents of the egg out so that you just have the shell. Then you're going to fill back with either A, mustard, or you can use dish soap. They don't like the taste of neither, and so repeatedly doing that and getting the taste of either the mustard or the dish soap over and over again, it stops them from eating the eggs, is the theory behind this. I have heard it work for many people. They have been able to break hens by doing this. Again, I have not tried this method, but I think that I'm fixing to with the ones that I've separated out. Another little trick is that you can buy wooden eggs or use golf balls to put in the nest box if you're in a situation where you can immediately go in there and collect the eggs that they've laid and then replace with those wooden eggs or the golf balls, and they will start trying to peck at those to crack them open so that they can eat them, and they just are repetitively pecking a hard object, which of course is going to get old in a hurry. Hence, this is also breaking that habit. But thought I'd pass those tips along to you, and also what I learned by digging in a little deeper on the whole reasoning behind why they tend to slow down on egg production during the heat of the summer. And I just felt like that was very fascinating, the way their bodies work and the way that metabolism of the calcium shifts, because I never knew that. I guess that's going to do it for today, guys. I hear the thunder rolling in the background, so I'm going to wrap it up, and hope you guys learned something and got something useful out of this video. And I'll keep you updated on my success on whether or not I can break my egg eaters. But till next time, guys, take care, and as always, we appreciate y'all watching.